Referring to Phil Goff's report of the Mayoral Housing Task Force, Property Institute's CEO Ashley Church told NZ Advisor that although it's an important piece of the jigsaw, other pieces need to be put in place to increase Auckland's housing supply.
So we have a situation in Auckland at the moment where, depending on whose figures you rely on, we're short of anything between 40 to 60,000 homes right now, or according to another report, 10,000 homes every year for the foreseeable future. And so what we're looking for is a solution to essentially enable the construction of those houses as quickly as possible. And so we've got a whole range of agencies that are working toward that, primarily the government and the Auckland Council. And all of those parties to some degree are trying to solve the problem, and each of them are contributing to the problem or to the solution with reports and various different ideas around what they can do. But the problem that we've got with that is that they're not talking to each other to the degree that they need to. And so we've got lots of ideas, some of which are actually quite worthy, but none of which in their own right are actually the solution to the problem. So we've got bits of a jigsaw being fit together, and then some quite significant parts of that jigsaw, pieces of that jigsaw that are still to be put in place that haven't been resolved by anybody.
Although the report had a range of good initiatives, Church said there was a lack of market incentives to encourage people to build new homes.
So when you look at the solutions at the moment, and let's take for example the two major political parties in this country, the government, the National Party, who are proposing to build 32,000 homes over the next 10 years. Then you've got the Labour Party, who've got a proposal called Kiwi Build, which was around recycling finance to build up to 100,000 new dwellings. Both of those are focused very much on what the state can do and what the government can do, and so they're around the government's contribution to the shortage of properties in Auckland. The problem with both of them is that they only focus on a relatively small part of the total supply that's actually needed. And so what we're saying is that in order to fix this problem, both of those initiatives are great. Whichever party's going to be in government after the election, that's fantastic. It's going to make a contribution to the shortage in Auckland. But what we need to do in order to solve the problem, and the much larger contributor to solving the problem, is the private sector. So what we need are either incentives or disincentives. Either would work. So by incentives we mean tax concessions potentially, maybe first home buyer grants, the sorts of things that are, but only to people who actually build new dwellings. So not available to people who are looking to buy an existing house, but available to people who are looking to build a new home. Alternatively, disincentives might be things like much higher rates or taxes for people that are land banking. They might be things like capital gains taxes on people on existing dwellings but not new dwellings. So it's looking at a suite of different measures that we could put in place in order to discourage people from purchasing existing dwellings and encourage people to buy new dwellings and build new houses, because that's what we need to do in order to fix the problem that we have here in Auckland.